and elevate yourself up onto something so that your spine can be tall. So just lift yourself as high under your seat as you need so that you're not gripping your leg bones to try to hold you upright. Okay, so your legs can soften and almost feel for this wrapping out and down of your thigh bones. And then you're going to bring your left arm out in front of you. Turn your palm to face up. And take your right hand, wrap your right fingertips around your outer left arm. As you send your fingertips forward, think of shrugging your shoulder head back and into your body. And feel that it's not just the shoulder head moving back into the body, but your entire shoulder blade moving toward your sacrum, like it's drawing a line down toward your low back. So you can feel the top of your head rebounding upward. And with your right fingertips, you're literally just holding your triceps in place. Feel that push-pull, fingertips forward, shoulder head back, and then rotate your palm to face down. So you're not moving your shoulder, you're not even really moving anything except this palm faces up and faces down. Up and down. A few times like that. Sending a little bit of brightness into your fingertips, so put a little spread in your fingertips. And feel the thumb really curling back, really curling down. A few more times like this. And I invite you to really, even though the movement is at the hand, really think about your shoulder blade as your back rib cage moves into that space. And the next time that you turn your palm to face down, pause, spread your fingers wide, and pull your fingertips back towards you. Then look at the wrist crease and make sure the pinky finger is turning back as much as the thumb. And as you exhale, pull your fingertips down and under. Down toward your forearm and under. So keep your palm facing forward, fingertips point up. Keep your right arm over your left arm bone. And all you're doing is taking your fingertips forward, 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 away from your nose, forward. And then all the way down to point towards your forearm. And then squeeze thumb and pinky finger in toward that forearm. And inhale, pull fingertips back. Spread your fingers wide as much as you can. Exhale, pull your fingertips down. Like you're trying to touch the bottom of the forearm with your fingertips. Pull back. And then down. You should feel all sorts of things awake here. So do that 2 more times. Pull back. Pull down. 1 more time, pull back, pull down, and then what you'll do is pull your fingertips back and hold. Really take thumb and pinky finger back toward your shoulder. And as you exhale, point your fingertips down, same thing, thumb and pinky finger try to touch the forearm. Shoulder blade moves down the back. And then release your left arm and pause. Okay, let's do the other side. I'm going to go on a diagonal. So it's a slightly different angle. Reach your right arm out. Take your left hand around your right triceps and turn the palm to face up. So what you're doing is the same principle as the other side, but you're just exploring your range. So your palm may not face all the way up, it may not face all the way down, but what you're doing is actually holding your triceps in place at the upper arm. So plug the shoulder head in as you send a little bit of energy into the arm. Shoulder blade moves down the back, and as much as you can, palm will rotate down, and then palm will rotate up. So just a few times, and you're not moving your upper arm. That left hand has a job. It's stopping your upper arm from moving. So you're really holding it still. You're not doing this from the shoulder. Shoulder stays still, elbow stays still. It's just the palm in your range that's moving, in your range. Spread your fingers as much as you can. And the next time you're down-ish, pull your fingertips toward your face. And then toward your under forearm. Back towards your face. Back towards your under forearm. Do this a few times. Soften the shoulder head away from the ear. So you're not shrugging up. Keep using your left hand to externally rotate to turn the triceps down, and do that 2 more times. Isolating this movement here. Point your fingertips up and hold. Pulling fingertips back, back, back. Push forward through the pad of the thumb. And as you exhale, pull your fingertips back, back, back toward the forearm. And then release your arm. Give your shoulders a moment. Change the cross of your legs. As you inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up into a V. As you exhale, touch your fingertips down. Inhale, arms up. This is just a prep for a Y. And then back down. Take your arms up, then bend your elbows and touch your fingertips behind your head. Just touch. Notice that if you're rounding forward, try to keep your head right up over your spine and lift through the column of your spine. Then bring your arms back up into that V shape, that Y. Turn your thumbs to face away from you, palms face out. Roll your hands to face out. And then like you're sweeping through water, pull your hands down and back behind you. Down and back behind you. Then lift your pinky fingers a little higher. Try not to round forward. Keep your head over your spine. I'm going to turn just a little bit so you can see this. So your arms are back. You're going to bend your elbows and try to touch your fingertips behind your back. It's okay if they don't go there. It's okay if they land somewhere low, but you're not shrugging your shoulders to make it happen. So the shoulders stay down away from the ears and maybe the fingertips come together to touch. From there, push your hands back again. Travel back the way you came, roll open. Sweep your arms up and overhead. Bend your elbows to the sides, touch your fingertips behind your head. The spine never moves. The spine doesn't round forward. Keep your head over your tailbone. Inhale, lift up. Internally rotate, turn the shoulder heads in, palms face out. Like you're sweeping through water, push down and back. Lift your pinky fingers a little. Shoulders away from the ears. Bend your elbows and touch your fingertips behind you. Inhale, push back. Roll out. Lift up. Fingertips touch, elbows point out. One more time, inhale, lift up. Exhale, sweep down and back. Pinky fingers lift, shoulder heads drop. Touch your fingertips together, inhale. Exhale, release your hands. Sweep out, inhale, lift up. Exhale, fingertips touch. Release your arms. And then, again, make sure that you're comfortable. You're not gripping at your legs, so you're in a comfortable seated position. And take your weights. They can be small weights, they can be heavy weights. You can toggle up to this. But you're actually going to pull your elbows into your waist. Shoulders draw down the back, and you're not gripping the weights, so there's kind of a softness at your fingertips. As you inhale, push the weights away from each other. Keep your elbow in. As you exhale, cross your right hand over your left hand. Inhale, go wide. Exhale, left hand over right. Inhale out. Exhale, right hand over. Inhale out, pull your elbows in. Exhale, left hand over. Do that a few more times because we're actually going to be exploring some of this rotator cuff strength. A few more like this. You've already breathed into the line of the arms. So you're just thinking about continuing that, drawing your shoulder blades down your back, hugging the elbows in, and finding that strength. A few more. Let's say one more with the right on top, one more with the left on top. Come back to center. Okay. Release your weights just momentarily and come off of your support. Okay. Give yourself a moment to stand in a forward fold. Legs a little bit wide. You can go wider than hip width apart, and then bend your knees and try to keep your back really flat as you grab a hold of your weights. Okay? So what you'll do is with a flat back, pick up your weights. Okay. So you're going to be standing, but so that you can see this on the video, I'm going to come down onto my knees so I can show you. Okay? But you stand up. Stand up so that your spine is tall, your weights are in your hands. And remember that Y that we did earlier? Turn your weights to face a little bit diagonal, so not all the way turned out, but just a little bit pointed out. As you inhale, lift your arms up into that Y, and as you exhale, bring your arms back down. Inhale, shoulder blades move down the back, lift up your arms. Exhale, lower down your arms. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. 4 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So my guess is you can do this with 5 or even 8 pounds. Yeah. One more time. Lift and lower, and then turn your weights to face toward your thighs. Okay? With your legs straight, without pushing your kneecaps back, put a softness in your knees and move those weights down toward your shins. Okay, now try not to round your back at all. Put a softness in your knees and push your shin bones back. And then stand up. Okay, so it's a hip hinge. You're hinging at your hip crease. You're not rounding your back. You're just gliding the weights down. If you start to round, you've gone too far. Pull it up more, and then lift up. Okay, lower and lift. Lower and lift. Keep your head in line with your heart. So as you come down, your head doesn't stay looking forward. Your head goes with your hinge. Lower and lift. A few more times. Lower, lift. Lower, lift. Again, come up, turn your toes to face out, hands holding the weights at your heart, elbows out. As you exhale, touch your elbows to your knees and squat down. Push through your heels and rise. Touch, rise. Touch, and rise. A few more. Push your shin bones back. Engage your belly and keep your spine tall. A few more. Last one. Lower and lift. Release your hands down. Turn your toes in. Lower your weights. Turn to face the top of your mat space and step into downward facing dog. Separating your feet a little bit wider than your hips, press your hips back. Now, push into the thumb and pointer finger as much as you can. Pause, and then lower your knees to the ground. Lower your knees to the ground. If you have a block, place the block to the right of your mat so that you can bring your right forearm onto the ground. So the right forearm is on a block. Kick your left leg out. And if you need to move your right foot a little bit back for more support, do that. But come onto your left fingertips and stretch your left fingertips toward that top left corner of your mat. So you get a stretch through your side waist and your low back. Okay? Now, slowly, slowly, pull your left elbow into your side waist. Depending on where you are, so normally your arm would be straight, you might actually be on the highest height of the block to feel that stability, okay? Now take your weight, and as you inhale, elbow into your side waist, and as you exhale, lower the elbow. Inhale, lift it, exhale, lower it. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. A few more times, lift and lower. Last one, lift and lower. Pause. Take your left arm towards straight so that it touches the ground almost. Still holding the weight. Turn your chest a little bit so that it's really truly facing the side wall. So stack your left shoulder over your right shoulder. There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Push down through your right forearm, and as you inhale, this time with your left arm straight, lift up. And as you exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up, arms straight now. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Head is in line with the heart, so you're not poking your head forward. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, lift. And lower. Pause. Lower the weight. Come back onto your shins. Release the block a little to the side and move the weight a little to the side. Spread your fingers wide. And then touch your toes together and stretch back into a child's pose. Stretch your arms. Breathe into your low back. As you inhale, glide back up. So if it's not comfortable for you to be on your hands, you can lower to your forearms again. Find a position on your quadruped where you're stable, okay? And then from here, touch your right toes to the ground. Drop your tailbone into your body, heart forward. As you inhale, pick your heel up. As you exhale, tap your knee to the earth. Inhale, keep your knee bent and push your heel to the sky. Exhale, tap the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, every time you exhale, you're tapping the knee. Inhale, heel to the sky. Exhale, tap. Inhale, legs straight. Exhale, tap. Up, tap. Back, tap. A few more times. Up, tap. Back, tap. One more. Up, tap. Back, tap. We're going to hold the back position now. Hold. Reach your right leg back. Tuck your left toes under. And then lift into a one-legged downward facing dog. Let your head go. Step your right foot between your hands. Use the hand on the ankle if you need the help to get it forward. Spin your back heel to the ground and sweep up into triangle pose. Straighten your right leg. Do you still have your block handy down next to your right foot? Because if you do, you're going to bend your right knee a little bit, reach for your block, place it on its highest height, and then use that block underneath your hand. Now really try to push your front leg towards straight and lean your heart a little bit back, as much as you can. Okay, look down. Bend your right knee. Reach your left hand down for your weight. Okay, and then take your block forward of your right pinky toe, and lift your left leg up into half moon. Move your weight forward as well. Okay, now slowly pick your weight up off the ground. As you inhale, bring your left arm up. As you exhale, lower that left arm. Now it's a slow movement. Inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, lower. With control, inhale, arm up. Push your left heel straight back. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. One more time. Up and down. And when you bring your weight down, place it onto the ground. Notice how light it is to float your left arm up into your half moon Ardha Chandrasana, then kick your left heel back more. Unlock your standing knee and pulse your left heel up to the sky. Squeeze your heel back and up, back and up, back and up. What I'm going to have you do, release your left hand, release your left foot next to your right foot facing forward and fold. Just fold. Okay. So the right leg just worked a lot, but we're actually going to ask it to work a little bit more. So we have one last movement here, okay? Okay, you're going to take your two weights to the top of your mat. Little softness at your knees. It's a hip hinge. You're not rounding your back. Hip hinge, straight spine up. Okay? Put your weight into your right foot, facing forward. Point your left toes back. Left inner thigh wraps to the sky. Now the toes can stay on the ground at first. The first few times that you do this, it will. And you're going to hinge over your right leg without locking that knee and come up. Now eventually, you're going to bring your left leg up when you hinge and then tap it down when you lift. The spine is straight. Drive the shin bone back, push the heel down. Keep your weights close to your right leg. Keep your head in line with your tailbone. And just do this 2 more times. The leg that lifts stays about in line with the spine. Come up and release. Woohoo! You did the first round. I'm back on my knees because we're doing that again. You stand into those Ys. Weights point a little out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Let's do 10. 2, anywhere between 8 and 12 is fine. 3, but especially as you start to increase your weight, you'll do less reps, maybe 8. Okay.
Too heavy, you got more than you need, and I have less than I need right now.
You want to get tired. Let's do 2 more. I'm assuming that you're playing around if you're using the video with your weight. Okay, turn your weights to face you. I'm coming to standing to meet you. And as you exhale, you're gonna feel this because you just did this on your right side, hip hinge. Spine stays straight, lower and rise. So I'll go sideways. Hinge at that hip crease, lower and lift. Don't lock your knees. Try not to round your back at all, especially at the shoulder blades. So move your shoulder blades down your back, even if it means you're not going quite so far. Two more. And use your judgment, anywhere between 8 and 12. Come up, point your toes out. Weights at your heart. This is a goblet squat. Touch your elbows to your knees and push up. Keep going. Breathe with your spine straight. And imagine the bottom tips of your shoulder blades are trying to touch your back pockets. So you're actively drawing your shoulder blades down your back. 2 more. So when I come into down dog, lift up, turn your feet forward, and then slowly hip hinge to lower your weights. I'm going to face the back of my mat so that I can stay facing you for the next side. You choose whichever side you want to face. But turn and come into downward facing dog. Press your hips back and just go for that stretch. So you can feel that aliveness through the arms and the shoulders with all the shoulder work you've done, And especially that shape of the Y here. So the shoulder blades even now are narrowing toward your tailbone. Turn your triceps down. Then lower to your knees. Find your quadruped. And on this side, as you inhale, let's arch the back, and as you exhale, round the back. Taking some cat-cows. Arch and round. Arch and round. Last one. Round. Touch your pinky toes, or sorry, touch your big toes together. Come back, child's pose. Feel that stretch at your low back.
Yeah.
Really nice. Let your sitting bones get heavy. And then look forward and come back up. Shins parallel. Take a block underneath your left forearm. So medium height is about where I am. Okay? And then step your right foot back and drop your right heel to the earth. So the right heel is kind of in line with the left big toe. But then I'm going to pick up my left toes and move them a little bit back so that I have more balance. And you're going to bring your right fingertips forward just for this side stretch here. For a moment to feel that stretch. And then slowly, turn your right shoulder up and over your left shoulder. Reach down for one of your weights. Bend your right elbow into your side waist. And as you exhale, lower the fist. As you inhale, lift. Lower and lift. So we're just trying to get lots of angles but similar exercises. So your body really gets different relationships to gravity as you exercise these muscles. Lower and straighten the arm. It doesn't touch. As you inhale, lift up. As you exhale with the straight arm, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Lift. Yeah, on this side, I'm noticing how challenging it is, especially to stack the right shoulder over the left shoulder and keep that stack. Can you do that? There. One more time. Bring it down. Slowly lower the weight. Release your knees. And move the block a little bit to the left. Move the weight a little bit to the right. Tap your left toes to the ground. Wrap your triceps back with your left leg stretched out. Drop your tailbone to the earth. Lift your heart forward. Look a little in front of your fingertips. Lift the heel without scrunching the low back. So keep your tailbone moving back. As you exhale, tap your left knee. Inhale, pulse it up. Exhale, tap. Inhale, straight back. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Inhale, heel reaches. Exhale, knee. Inhale, heel up. Exhale, knee. So you're just alternating the stretch straight back and the pulse to the sky without dropping your head or rounding your upper back. Two more. Breathing here. Keep the front of your pelvis nice and connected, imagining that the frontal hip bones could touch each other. Send your left leg back and hold. Tuck your right toes under. It's going to shift your weight a little forward to do that. And then lift up into a one-legged down dog. Wrap your right hip crease back so that hip draws back. As you exhale, step your left foot forward. Use your hand to help your foot if you need to. Spin your back heel to the ground and come into triangle pose. First of all, noticing how light it is because you don't have a weight right now, but the movement's the same. It's that side opening. And then take that block that should be right there and move it to the highest height just outside of your shin. And then go for that triangle stretch. Draw your tailbone towards your back heel, so actively move your tailbone towards your body. Into that body. As you exhale, look down. Move your block forward in line with the pinky toe and forward about a foot, and take your right leg up. Then you're slowly going to reach your right hand down and grab a hold of your weight. Pick the weight up, but let it dangle for a moment so that more or less you can stack your right shoulder up and over your left shoulder first, and then come into that lift and lower. Lift. Can you feel this is core work? Shoulder stability and hip work. Try. Keep going and breathing into it. It does get easier. It really does, I promise. Can you do one more? Maybe. Oh my goodness, good job. Put the weight down. Bring your hand up. Oh, it's so much lighter. It's like dessert. Come back into your half moon. Right heel pushes back and it pulses up. Never dropping below the hip height. Up, 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 up. I know he did it. Turn to look down and release your right hand. Bend your left knee so you can step your right foot to the earth. And now you're facing parallel to the short edge of your mat. So you're back facing the top of your mat. Okay, now you need to get both weights for this one because you're coming into a hip hinge. Turn the weights to face you without rounding your back as hard, moving forward as much as you can. Pick yourself up. Okay, spine is straight. Right toes point back. Almost no weight on that foot. Unlock your left knee and hinge down and pulse up. Okay, so maybe you lift your leg as you hinge and come up. Lift the leg as you hinge. Keep your pelvis square to the earth and come up. It is optional to not even touch the ground at all with your right foot. So it doesn't need to tap down when you bring yourself up. Maybe 8 of these, between 6 and 10. 2 more. Okay. Hey. You live?
I'm sort of, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you did. One more set of Ys. One more set of leg hinges. One more set of goblet squats. Inhale, lift up. So this time I'm not on my shins, but you get it at this point. So you do want to be standing when you do this. I know I was showing you on my shins earlier, but standing. Shoulder blades move down the back. Last one. Weights face your body, lower and lift. Symmetry. We can't do enough hip hinging, right? Well, your glutes are going to feel it, your hamstrings are going to feel it.
You've done a lot more than I've done today, so yeah, I've been like some...
Didn't you miss me? Take your weights at your heart, turn your toes out, heels in, Tap your elbows and lift. 2. We're only doing 8 for this last round. Beautiful. And release your weights, turn your toes in. Slowly lower your weights down. Come back into your downward facing dog and stretch. Stretch back. Lower your knees to the earth. Cross at your ankles. And you're going to have your weights on either side of your body for this. And lie onto your back. Because we still have a little bit of shoulder work to do here. But I want you to think about establishing where your shoulder blades are on the ground first. So move your shoulder blades down your back. And then imagine that your back ribs could breathe into those shoulder blades. Shoulders are moving away from the ears and you feel really steady on your back. Then you're going to take your weights into your hip creases. Okay. As you inhale, pick your weights straight up. Shoulder heads heavy. Now this is going to be really dependent on the weight of your weights. You might want a lighter weight just in general for this, but you're slowly going to bring your arms overhead without even coming close to touching the ground. Feel for that place where the bottom tip of the shoulder blade gets light. That's enough. You don't need to go to your range. And then as you exhale, tap your weights to your thighs. As you inhale, bring your weights back. Now the moment the shoulder blades get light, you've gone far enough. And exhale, down. Inhale, reach. Exhale. So it's a little bit like a Y on your back, except that your weights are, your palms are facing up. So there's kind of no diagonal. But the idea is similar. And you can really feel here the stability of your spine when it's straight. Two more. And when you lower on that next one, you're going to bring your weights back to your hip creases. So it's a little bend at the elbows there. Okay. Heels flat on the earth. As you inhale, lift up your hips. Tailbone moves into your body. As you exhale, lower. I want you to really think about paralleling your legs and your feet. So make sure your heels are in line with your sitting bones. Your big toes are just a little bit turned toward each other so that you can feel that the outer edges of your feet are parallel to the side of the mat. And your knees are pointing right up to the sky. And that's what will let you lift your hips and send your kneecaps forward. And then lower. Lift. And lower. And this one, you can add more weight. Right, so for this one, you can kind of just explore. And if it starts getting really easy, I'm going to give you a challenge, which maybe you want to do today, maybe you don't. But the next time you bring your hips down, take your left knee and pick your left foot up off the ground. So the left knee is bent over the hip, not toward you, but over the hip. And then the left hand might have to come down. The right hand stays at the hip crease, but you're doing the same movement. It's a lift and lower.
Just one leg, right?
Just one leg.
Okay.
And maybe even the leg can be straight. It's up to you. Right? Weight is in the right hip, and maybe you bring both your weights into your right hip if you're feeling really strong. Lower, set your left foot down. Weight in the left hip, release the right hand, pick your right knee up. And try a few of these. So again, you can keep your right knee bent this whole time. You can have one or both weights. You could get as heavy in your left hip as you want, or you can even straighten your leg. So you're feeling into your options. And then lower. Move your weights to the side. Drop your knees open. Feel the pinky toe side of your foot on the ground and draw your shoulder blades down your back. You thought you were done with glutes, but you're not. You have one last glute exercise here.
You have your feet together or?
Yeah, your feet are together. Pinky toe side of your foot is on the mat and your knees are pointed out. But what I don't want you to do is push your kneecaps toward the earth. So lift your knees an inch or two away from the earth. So you're at about 80% of your range, not 100%. 80% of range, and then bring your hands down alongside your body. Keep your shoulders heavy. And as you inhale, push into your pinky toe side of your foot and lift up. As you exhale, lower. As you inhale, lift. So it's the same hip hinging bridge, except with your knees out. Really feel for the pinky toe side of your foot pushing down. Pushing down. Couple more. If it feels okay for your knees to start to press toward the earth, you can. That's one way to deepen this, is by pushing the knees down. Lower. Walk your knees together and your feet apart. Pause. And then slowly hug your right knee into your chest. Bring your left foot in line with your left sitting bone. So instead of out, walk your left foot in a little and come into half happy baby on the right side. Grab a hold of the pinky toe side of your foot and draw your knee toward your shoulder. Then straighten your left leg onto the ground. Yeah. Good. Release your right foot. Bend your left knee. Grab a hold of the outer edge of your left foot with your left hand. Squeeze your shoulder with your knee and straighten your right leg. And release. Take both legs straight. Separate your feet as wide as you need to. Drop your toes open and just bring your hands onto those hip bones in the front of your body. And see if you can breathe a little bit of softness into those hip bones. Softening your shoulders, softening the back of your heart. Maybe even drawing your shoulder blades away from your ears. Give yourself a few breaths like this. Really nice to be held by gravity here, so you can feel the bones settling into the ground. Notice if something in you still wants to protect or constrict or tighten, especially in the front of your body. And maybe you need that extra little bit of protection today. We put in all sorts of kind of little constrictions to protect ourselves. Or maybe you don't need that. So make your choice. And if you don't, if you're welcoming a little more spaciousness, put your attention to wherever it is that you feel any tightening. And just slowly, patiently, but slowly start to unravel that. Let it go. So the front of the heart, maybe it can start to brighten. The inner shoulder heads can find a little bit of spaciousness. The low belly can start to create a little bit of opening. The breath can move a little more freely down your spine. Take a few more breaths like this, and really I do invite you to stay here as long as you want, when you're ready, you'll bend your knees and place your feet onto the earth. Pause just to feel a heavying up of your leg bone into your pelvis. Feel for that softening even here of the legs into the pelvis especially. So there's no ropiness, there's no gripping at the front of the thigh. And then you can roll to one side and push yourself up, coming back into a seated position. And again, if you want to sit up or elevate on something, you can, but now when you're seated, really think of that connection between the leg and the pelvis and soften any ropiness, any of the musculature in your legs. So softening your thigh bones toward the earth. And feel that when you take some of the stress or that anticipation out of the legs and let them be heavy, the spine has more opportunity to hold you upright. So you can bring your strength back to that central axis where it belongs and out of the extremities where it fatigues us. So a lot more sustainable at the spine. You might even feel the top of your head lifting a little bit in that. Bring your hands together in front of your heart just for a breath. Honoring your practice. You can take a deep breath in and then we'll open our mouth to close. Sigh it out.